It's my birthday. It's not. It's not my birthday. I still have a few weeks to go before I turn 29. I know, right? I don't look that old, but I am. And actually, so you know how a baby turns one after they've lived their first year? So the day following their first birthday is the first day of their second year. So I realized that the day after my 29th birthday will be my first day as a 30-year-old, which is a big deal. So when I did this post, which is the reason why I'm doing this post, when I decided to do this post, I was like, let me do a video instead. Let me do it differently because I'm turning 29 while I'm finishing up my 29th year on Earth. So let me do it differently. But actually, no, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm only doing a video because I'm too lazy to write. I'm too lazy to write, and besides, I realized that a lot of people are more responsive to videos than text. People love to listen and watch than read. Yep, so yeah, I'm probably going to stick to vlogging in the future. Anyway, so this 29th year hasn't been easy, to say the least. It hasn't been an easy year at all. A lot of you probably already know that I fled Burundi. I became a refugee because of my big mouth. And in a matter of days, I went from a situation where I was a person who was financially independent and dependable to a person who had nothing, who depended on other people for small things like getting a haircut or uh, everything really. And when you've been your own person for a couple of years, when you've been a person who provides for yourself and also provides for others sometimes, and you go back to being somebody who depends on other people, it's really hard. I'm speaking from experience. It works. It really brings you down morally. It's hard on your ego. Is your ego here or here? The ego, where is it? Anyway, it's hard on your ego. bro. And I've struggled with a lot of problems related to that, as in moral problems, feeling down. I wouldn't say I got depressed because I don't. Depression is a clinical condition. I feel like sometimes we use that word wrong. But I'm okay today. I'm okay because in the midst of all that, first of all, which is kind of ironic, my lifestyle got better. I mean, when I left Burundi, I came to the States, and here I live. First of all, I live in a first world country, so yeah, I live in a better house, I drive a better car, but all those things don't come out of my pocket. They haven't come out of my pocket. It's God, man. People, God is good. God is really good. God has been really good to me. I've been thinking about how everything just kind of happened and how I found myself here, and I've realized that God is so good. Nukuri, it could have been much worse, which is why I don't complain anymore. My situation could have been much, much worse than it is now. Instead, it got better. And the way God was good is that He worked through people in my life, family, friends, who have taken such good care of me. I have appreciation for those people and for God that I just don't know how to express. Miracles do happen, people. Miracles do happen. Anyway, another thing that I realized from this whole situation is that it reminded me of a long time ago when I started reading my Bible. I read a passage where God instructed the Israelites to work for 6 years and to rest for the whole of the seventh year, the sabbatical year, to take a sabbatical year. And I remember praying. I was in high school. I was a kid. I remember praying to God. It's like, God, this, I mean, I know it's practically not possible, but this would be cool. If I, when I start working, can work for 6 years, if you can give me the capacity to have the seventh year off, I'll be so grateful. I said that prayer and I forgot about it. And when I was in this whole situation, I realized that this is my 7th year since I finished school and started working. So God answered my prayer. Although, when I said the prayer, I wasn't thinking about this. I wasn't thinking that I would lose everything and become a refugee and have to start my life all over again. But I got my sabbatical year. And in fact, my sabbatical year has really, really been a sabbatical year in terms of it allowed me to do a lot of retrospection, a lot of introspection. I learned a lot of things about myself. First of all, it's so, I think everybody should experience this. Every Burundian should experience this at least once. Kuba, in Burundi, you're not your own person. You're umwana wo kwa, umukozi wo ngaha, umukristo wo kuri irya shengero. But when I came here, I realized I was a nobody. I didn't have all that pressure of having to represent. It was like, you feel like, anyway, I got to do a lot of introspection, retrospection, analyze myself, think about my life goals, think about my plans, pray, analyze my relationships. It has really been a very, very good time off. Very good time off. And I've come to appreciate this time even more after realizing that when I start working soon, I may not have another opportunity to rest this long. I mean, I've been on a break since May last year. Bon, I get gigs once in a while. I still help at the organization where I worked back in Burundi. So I do get busy sometimes, but overall, I've been just chilling and I've been loving it. So I appreciate this time as much as, even though it came with a lot of difficulties. One of the things I got to think about was my online presence, my Mr. Burundi persona. In 2011, I came back to social media. I had been off social media for about 8 months. At the time, I only had Facebook. I didn't have Twitter. I didn't have Instagram. I don't know if Instagram was there in 2011. But yeah, I had been off social media for at least 8 months. But my decision to come to social media, to come back to social media, which went with creating a Twitter account, coming back to Facebook, and starting to blog. My decision to come back was based on my desire to continue work that I had started to promote Burundi online. Because I've always been mad at the fact that Burundi has always been portrayed negatively on the internet and the news, and I've always wanted to do something about that. For 2 years, I actually tried to create a business around that desire, but I wasn't really successful. But when I came back to social media, I was like, you know what, let me just do it low key, not for money. And to do it, because I didn't know any other way I could talk about Burundi positively, but on a part-time basis, because I had a full-time job. So I decided to share some details of my life as a Murundi, as a Burundian, talk about what I was seeing, talk about my experiences in Burundi, but really talk about them objectively. I don't think that to promote something, you need to just talk about the good things. You can also talk about the bad things, but talk about them objectively. So I did that. I intentionally decided to create a blog and start sharing details about my life. I intentionally decided to start tweeting. I intentionally decided to create Mr. Burundi. And it worked. I mean, if you're watching this video and you've never met me in your life, actually, it's me. I realize that a lot of people may not know me. My name is Chris, by the way. Yeah, that's my name. So yeah. So I've been thinking about my Mr. Burundi situation, given that I'm not in Burundi anymore. The only thing I can share about, I can talk about now is my life in America, which kind of doesn't meet the purpose of Mr. Burundi, of the idea behind Mr. Burundi. And I'm not going to Burundi anytime soon. So I've decided to shut down Mr. Burundi. It's not definitive. I just feel like I need to refocus. I need to make another plan. One that actually makes sense to me, first of all, and then to you. And then maybe I'll come back. But I'm not going to shut down this blog. I'm just going to shut down my Facebook, my Twitter, just going to take time off for... My plan is to be off until next year for a year. I'm going to be back on my 30th birthday, hopefully. I may come back earlier or I may come back later, I don't know. I just need time off. The second reason why I need time off is because it's almost similar to the first reason. It's because I believe that I feel like I've become a reactor. I react to things that are happening in Burundi. And I don't react in a good way. I've become this angry person, this mean person. And I feel like I need to change that. I mean, there's so many reasons to be mean and angry, but that's not who I am. And I feel like as a person, I can be more effective. I spend so much time online reading and tweeting and writing about Burundi, but I don't feel like my contributions are actually doing something about the situation in Burundi. I feel like as a person, I can do so much better in other things. And it's not just me, I also feel the same about you. If you're a Burundian and you're listening to this, If all you do is be online, tweeting and complaining, you can do better. I don't listen a lot to Humura, but a few days ago, I listened to, somebody sent me a clip. I don't know what was the main topic, why they sent it to me, but what I remember from that clip is I heard the report talking about the work that Maison Shalom is doing for refugees in Rwanda. They are helping with the education of the children. They're going to finance the education. They're going to finance the education of a few kids who are starting university, I guess paying their school fees or something. They have started a microfinance initiative to help families start income generating activities for themselves, refugee families in Rwanda. And when I heard that, I was so happy. I was like, this is what we should be doing. This is what we should be doing. Instead of being online and crying to an international community that doesn't care about us, they're not going to come. Instead of spending the day insulting or whatever with Nyamitwe and his trolls. I don't even follow those people anymore. It's just a waste of time. And they're just a bunch of bad energy. I don't like bad energy people. So when I listened to that clip, it just confirmed what I had been thinking, that we need to change our strategy. Abarundi, we need to change our strategy. This is the part I switched to Kirundi. Ifo dutahura yuko twatsinzwe. On a perdu. On n'a pas perdu la guerre, mais on a perdu la bataille. La bataille in terms of, it was all about the third term in the beginning, and we lost that battle because he got his third term. But the war, which is the war which I was fighting actually, is against the system. The system which includes Nkurunziza, CNDD-FDD, but a lot of other people as well, most of which are actually in the opposition, the anti-third term opposition. I'm still in the war against that system. One thing that we don't realize, Nuko, the third term was actually a blessing. Because imagine, you're CNDD-FDD, yashira undi muntu nka Bunyoni. Hitwaye kuja mw'ibarabara because he wouldn't have had an excuse yo kuja mw'ibarabara. Iyo tugenda mw'ibarabara abantu bari guca bavuga okay mbwiye mw'ibarabara kubera iki? Kubera batwamaze imyaka 10 batwara nabi. Oya ivyo onye bibarizwa mu matora. Bari guca baja amatora, baca bayariginga, they would have won, system ikabandanya. But they actually gave us an excuse. They think they were smart by keeping Nkurunziza, but that's the worst decision they could have done for themselves and for the whole system. Ils se sont tirés une balle dans le pied. And we need to realize that. I don't know if they know, but they gave us an excuse. Everything that started, there has been casualties. I've lost family. I've lost friends. Family members, close family members have been attacked. But we need to think long term about this thing. And I've decided to address it in the long term manner. And the only way to win this war, I believe, is by changing the strategy. Kuma tuvuga tudakora. Gukora nako ni gute? We don't have to be in politics. Ikintu turareze nuko igihugu higwa n'abantu. We praise countries like Rwanda, Singapore, Scandinavian countries, I don't know where. We praise certain leaders, but we don't realize that those leaders were only popular because the populations which they were leading were responsive to the visions of their leaders. So it's really about the populations responding to the vision than the leader. We have crappy leaders, but I'm sure that each one of us dufise vision. Umuntu wese arafise vision about their own life. Not just their own life. Nka jewe ndashaka gutera imbere kugira nkikize, kugira nkize abavyeyi banje, kugira nkize abo tuvukana, kugira nkize, you know. Now imagine if every Burundian had that mindset. We complain that the system hasn't given us infrastructure, it hasn't given us schools, it hasn't given us hospitals, everything is crap. We have the knowledge, we have the skills. It's true we don't have leadership, but why can't we be our own leaders? Let's create another system where the change comes from us. I believe it's possible. Just be great at what you're doing. Kora. Let's be great. Let's work. Umwe wese mu vyo akora. Let's work together. And let's make the system irrelevant. The only reason why they're causing so much trouble is because we've given them so much attention, more attention than they deserve. We've diverted the attention that we should be focusing on actually making things better in our communities to all the crap that they've been giving us for years. I know this sounds very cliche and utopic. I'm going to try. Joe, at least for me, I've decided I'm going to try. I want it. So tangula nkore Joe. I'm going to change my strategy. Narahejeje kuvuga. I've already said enough. There's nothing new. I've been thinking about all the things I've been tweeting and writing about. I've started to repeat myself. There's nothing new that I'm bringing to the table. So I'm going to try a new thing. And this new thing requires me to stop talking. So this is one of the reasons why I'm going. Yep. And I would really invite all of you out there to join me. Let's work. There is a way out. You know what they say? When life gives you lemons, make lemonade. There's always a way. There's always a way. Ikibi nuko abarundi tumaze 50 trying to fix our political problems with political solutions. And it's the same people who create the problems who have been we've been recycling them. It's the same people. The ones who create the problems, and we believe that things are just going to change. How? It's time to start another thing. It's time to go back, look at the bigger picture, and think objectively. So, this is what I'm going to do. And yeah, I'm going. I'm changing my strategy. No more complaining anymore. No more darush. I mean, we can't all do the same thing. I realize that I'm not good at it. I'm not effective. I mean, I'm not going to politician or activist or but I feel like that's not my role. I feel like I can be more effective somewhere else. So that's what I'm going to do. And I encourage all of you, actually, even those who want to be politicians, those who want to be activists, go there and do it well. Okay, and so yeah, this is it. I don't even remember what I talked about. I've said so many things. I should probably stick to writing because writing allows editing and putting some order in ideas. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to deactivate my account like now. I'm going to wait until my birthday, actually. That's when I'm going to shut down everything. This blog is going to stay here. This Burundian life is going to stay very active. I'm actually encouraging you to send your stories. I may write once or twice for this Burundian life and this blog too. But Twitter, Facebook, and since now you know that I'm going to celebrate my birthday soon, if you want to send me presents, just drop me an email, write in the comments or something, and we can arrange that. So yeah, I wish you all a very good day or night wherever you are. Be safe, be strong, be productive. At the end of the day, I really, really believe that Burundi will win. Burundi will win. We will win. Manila, it's okay.